Is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you take
I don't,
a,
sir.
can you show the photo? Walk with the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
So what is your point?
My question is the numbers and the letter MS-13. Could you look at the photo, please? It's right in front of
Are
you.
you saying Abrego Garcia is not a wife beater?
No, ma'am.
That he's not a criminal.
Ma'am,
He's not a human trafficker. And he's not a member of MS-13.
You vouched for Mr. Garcia when
You're
your team
vouching for a
said,
man
ma'am, you
that
vouched
is
for
a
him when you said he
known
was
violent
mistakenly
criminal.
deported.
Sir,
I didn't vouch for him.
I did not say
in
that. He should have been deported. Absolutely.
It's so
He was
telling
never
that
a
you won't
mistake
look at the
deported,
photo.
And we will not be bringing
Was
him back
it
to
doctored or not?
If in staying here, if
Can you
he
look
comes
to
back
your
the
right
country, he
at
would
the
be
photo in
released
front of
right
you?
away.
Madam,
What makes this exchange so consequential is not the shouting, the interruptions, or even the visible frustration. It's the way a simple factual question exposes a much larger fracture in how power is being exercised and justified inside the federal government.
His time has expired. I now recognize Mr. Swalwall for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. You have an important job. I think you have one of the most important jobs in the cabinet. Thank you for doing it. I want you to have credibility and be taken seriously as you do the job. And so I want to put to rest this question about Mr. Garcia in this photo that the president posted on April 21. Madam Secretary, you agree that the letters MS and the number 13 in Times Roman numeral font, that they are doctored on this photo, right?
Congressman Abrego Garcia.
No, I'm just asking about this photo.
It wasn't based off of tattoos. It was based off an entire case.
And I'll accept that
case against him.
for the purpose of this question. You agree, though, that this is doctored. Is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have
with
credibility,
law
and
enforcement.
I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not
Sir,
doctored?
I am taken quite seriously
Is it
because I
doctored
approach
or
my
not
job with
doctored?
the importance that the president has given me to do
I understand.
my job.
Is it doctored or not
One thing
doctored?
that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built.
Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have
you're-
any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay, can you
I
take
don't, sir.
can you show the photo? Walk with the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
So what is your point?
My question is the numbers and the letter MS-13. Could you look at the photo, please? It's right in front of
Are
you.
you saying Abrego Garcia is not a wife beater?
No, ma'am.
That he's not a criminal.
Ma'am,
He's not a human trafficker. And he's not a member of MS-13.
You vouched for Mr. Garcia when
You're
your
vouching
team
for
said,
a man
ma'am, you
that
vouched
is
for
a
him when you said he
violent
was
criminal.
mistakenly deported.
Sir,
I didn't vouch for him.
I did not say
in
that.
that
He
photo.
should have been deported. Absolutely.
It's so
He was
telling
never
that
a
you won't
mistake
look at the
deported,
photo.
And we will not be bringing
Was
him back
it
to
doctored or not?
If in staying here, if
Can you
he
look
comes
to
back
your
the
right
country, he
at
would
the
be
photo in
released
front of
right
you?
away.
Madam Secretary, can you look to the right at the photo in front of you?
I have seen this
Okay.
photo as you held it behind your head.
Thank you. And the letters MS and the numbers 13, are those
Is
doctored
this your
or
entire
not?
testimony today is on a doctored photo? You don't want to talk about the facts?
Okay,
The
so
importance of our national security?
You acknowledge it was
Do to
doctored.
make sure that the United States is protected?
Madam Secretary, this is not a hard
violent
question.
criminals?
Are those doctored or not?
Sir,
is that actually on his hand or not?
This is unbelievable to me that you're focused.
It's unbelievable
on a
to me
photo
that you can't
think-
look at the photo and tell the American
I looked at
people.
the photo, but I don't have any knowledge as to this photo.
Okay, so it's been hanging out there for 4 weeks. You are one of the chief law enforcement officials in the country. What have you done to investigate whether the president misrepresented the reason that that person has been detained?
Sir,
have
we
you
spend our
done
time-
anything to try and figure out whether that was doctored or not?
The mission of the Department of Homeland Security is to secure our nation and to make sure that we're out there going after those that are the worst of the worst, the criminals, the bad actors. Abrego Garcia.
So the answer is
a
you've done
known
nothing to
terrorist,
correct the president.
member of MS-13, a wife
Okay.
beater and a human
Okay.
trafficker that should never have been in this country to begin with.
So, Madam Secretary, thank you, Mr. Burnett. 2 weeks ago, your agency deported a 4-year-old American citizen in a stage 4 cancer battle. What are you doing to get him back to the country so he can get his treatment?
Congressman, this mother wished to keep her family together and to take her child with her. So as every single person is given the opportunity to, medical care is given throughout the process.
So it sounds like
And for this
nothing.
child, medical care was confirmed in their home country so that it would continue, and those treatments and whatever needs were needed to be had into the future were confirmed to be provided there before.
That child's home country is the United States. Do you believe you have a right to deport a U.S. citizen?
That mother chose to keep her family together, and that is what President Trump is focused on.
That's not the facts of the case.
Yes, it is the facts.
Madam Secretary, moving on,
Confirmed that she wanted to
do
keep
you
her
have a
child
right?
with her, and our families and parents are given that ability to keep their children with them when they return to their home countries.
Madam Secretary, do you have a right to deport a U.S. citizen?
No, we do not deport U.S. citizens and have not deported U.S. citizens.
Except the 4-year-old that we just
No,
referenced.
that mother chose to keep her child with her, and that is her prerogative, and the law was followed in allowing her the opportunity to do that.
So, Madam Secretary, I'm a former prosecutor. I have put people away for life sentences who are gang members. I don't need to wear costumes to show how tough I am. What makes me different from you is when I put those individuals away, I did it with the weight of the law behind me. And I yield back.
Eric Swalwall begins this line of questioning with unusual restraint. He doesn't accuse, he doesn't grandstand, he does something far more strategic. He establishes the stakes of credibility. When he tells Secretary Noem that her job is one of the most important in the cabinet and that he wants her to be taken seriously, he is not flattering her. He's laying a foundation. He's reminding everyone that the Department of Homeland Security is not a messaging arm. It is a law enforcement institution whose legitimacy rests on evidence, accuracy, and trust. Then he narrows the aperture to one specific item, a photo shared by the president himself, not an anonymous leak, not opposition research, a presidential post showing letters and numbers, MS-13, seemingly etched onto a man's hand, visually branding him as a gang member. That image wasn't just rhetorical, it functioned as proof. It was used to justify detention, deportation, and public condemnation. This is where the moment turns from political theater into a civics lesson. In any justice system governed by the rule of law, visual evidence matters enormously. Images persuade more powerfully than words. They shortcut skepticism. They create certainty where ambiguity might otherwise exist. That is why the authenticity of evidence is sacred. If an image is altered, the entire justification built on it collapses. Swalwall understands this, which is why he strips away every distraction. He tells Noem he will, for the sake of argument, accept the government's broader case against Abrego Garcia. He is not asking her to defend the man. He is not litigating guilt or innocence. He is asking one narrow, factual question. Are those letters and numbers actually present on the hand, or were they digitally added? The refusal to answer that question is the most revealing part of the hearing, not because Noem lacks information, but because she avoids the premise entirely. She pivots to protocols, to national security, to Garcia's alleged crimes, to the mission of DHS. These responses are not accidental, they are defensive maneuvers. By reframing the issue as one of outcomes rather than evidence, she attempts to make the truth of the image irrelevant. But in law enforcement, evidence is never irrelevant. When Swalwall physically places the photo in front of her and she still refuses to engage with it, the exchange exposes something deeper than stonewalling. It reveals a governing philosophy where narrative outranks verification, where ends justify the means, where correcting the president, even on a factual matter, is treated as a greater risk than misleading the public. That has consequences far beyond this case. If a cabinet secretary will not acknowledge whether evidence used by the president was altered, it signals to every agency downstream that factual accuracy is optional when political alignment is at stake. It teaches prosecutors, agents, and officers that loyalty matters more than proof. And once that line is crossed, due process stops being a safeguard and becomes a slogan. The conversation then shifts to the deportation of a 4-year-old American citizen with stage 4 cancer, and the same pattern reemerges. Noem does not deny the outcome. Instead, she reframes it as a parental choice, as if constitutional rights can be waived by circumstance. This is a crucial moment because it quietly redefines citizenship itself, not as an absolute legal status, but as something contingent on administrative discretion. When Swalwall asks the most basic question, whether the government has the right to deport a U.S. citizen, Noem says no, then immediately describes how it happened anyway. This contradiction is not a slip. It reflects an erosion of boundaries between what is lawful, what is convenient, and what is politically expedient. Swalwell's final statement lands precisely because of who he is. As a former prosecutor, he understands the weight of the law. When he says he put gang members away for life using real evidence, he is drawing a line between performance and prosecution, between optics and legality, between power exercised theatrically and power constrained by rules. That's why this exchange matters. It isn't about defending one individual. It isn't about scoring partisan points. It's about whether evidence still anchors government action or whether authority alone is now treated as sufficient justification. It's about whether the public can trust that the images, claims, and accusations used to strip people of liberty are real or merely useful. And once that trust erodes, it doesn't stop at immigration. It spreads to every area where the state exercises force.
If you care about accountability, about evidence-based governance, and about the principle that no official, not even the president, is above factual scrutiny, stay engaged with this work. Share this analysis. Follow for deeper breakdowns, and remain part of the conversation that insists power must still answer to truth.